Hello, my friends. So let's talk about Chapter 2 of Den of the Wolfman. Of course, this is my free novella that I offer for free download. If you go to my website, ronaldmkimmons.com, you can see a link there that will allow you to go and download Den of the Wolfman for free to give you a taste of my writing. And it's not too long, it's not too short. It's just right, I think, to give you a good sample of reading of what reading one of my stories is like. So chapter 2 of Den of the Wolfman. Let's go into some behind the scenes stuff. So there are two main characters that we see here. First, of course, is Bondas Riverman, who is the main character of Den of the Wolfman and the main character, the protagonist of Wild River as well. Though there are many other characters that are introduced in Wild River later on. In Den of the Wolfman, it's basically a one-man show. This is Bondas Riverman's story of how he caught the Wolfman, who is a serial killer running around in the city of Wild River. And in chapter 2, we are introduced to Bondas and also to a man who hires him by the name of Ta'anif Herder. Now, the city of Wild River, the setting, it's kind of course, this is based on 1860s America, and the city itself is kind of a mix of New York and New Orleans. And what we see is Bondas, he's still just getting started as an investigator. He's in a little, basically a closet, a back closet that he's turned into an office, closet for someone else's office that he has rented to make his own office. But he did some work for some influential people, and Ta'anif heard about that, and so he is coming to talk to Bondas and hire him for this important job. And Ta'anif's character, Bondas is kind of a mixture of Frederick Douglass and Sherlock Holmes. Bondas used to be a slave. He was born and raised a slave. Of course, he was freed in the slave war. He decided to serve as a soldier on the pro-slave side, with the promise that doing so would earn him his freedom. But in the end, with the armistice agreement and everything, all the slaves were freed. And Bondas is now, as a free man, he's working as an investigator, and I say he's like Frederick Douglass in that he taught himself to read and write. He's a very intellectual, very highly motivated person, just naturally. Even though he was born and raised a slave, he learned to read and write on his own secretly, and he's taught himself a lot of other things. So he's a very capable man. And Ta'anif Herder, on the other hand, he's kind of based on a mixture of like Boss Tweed, if you know who that is from U.S. history, a political organizer, a political boss. He's also just the general concept of the fat men of that time period. And when I say fat men, like at that time, there were actual groups, social groups of men, because even in that time period and in the U.S., the poor people were really poor in that they didn't have food, right? And so if you were overweight, it was kind of a symbol of wealth, right? And so there were these social groups where fat men, professionals, entrepreneurs, guys who were wealthy, who earned a lot of money, they would create these groups, and all of them there had to be a certain weight in order to be part of the group, and they would get together and they would eat and they would gamble and do various other things. And it was a matter of social status to be a fat man, right? And Ta'anif Herder is kind of based on that idea. He is very large. He's very assertive. He's an interesting character, and you'll see this more in Wild River. But he's kind of an anti-hero. He's a labor organizer who isn't afraid of getting rich, doing his labor organizing work. He's a businessman who isn't afraid of doing things that are legally suspect, right? But he also, in deep down, he has principles, and he wants to make the world a better place. He just isn't above making a profit in the process, right? And he isn't above saying one thing and doing something else. But so yeah, that's Town of Herder, and you see that for some reason in chapter 2, you see that for some reason he is highly concerned about this serial killer, and he wants to deal with him. And you don't know exactly why, and it's kind of a mystery why he is so concerned, because the police are after this guy, and you're left wondering, well, why is this such an important thing for Ta'anaf? Why, what does this mean to him? And that actually starts to become evident later on, and we see that. Whereas Bandas, this is his first big job. He's done things such as helping local wealthy people to spy on their spouses and stuff like that. But he's never done anything really meaningful until now as part of his job. But now Ta'anuf is giving him the opportunity to go and catch a high-level serial killer. So this is a very serious case, and we see how that actually becomes a turning point in Bondas's life as the story goes on. So yeah, those are the main characters that are introduced in chapter 2. And I hope you enjoy the story. If you haven't gotten the story yet, again, you can go to my website and download it for free. It's a free download. And let me know what you feel about chapter 2. If you read it and you have any comments, any questions, just put them in the comments below and I will answer you. Okay? And yeah, till next time. Bye.